All right, day 2 at ASUS ROG Winter 2015 is on the run. Now the second semifinal is coming up, but I'm sitting here with Natu from 3D Max. You guys weren't able to go to the playoffs, but you brought us two exciting games with Titan. Why don't you just start off with talking about the first one, which you won on GE Mirage?
Yeah, I mean that was an epic experience. Totally, like I just first of all want to thank the crowd and everyone who was here for that match specifically, because everyone was just nuts. But the game itself, I thought we started off a bit rough, lost the pistol round, we were down a bit, and then Alo took a huge round for us with the op, just picking people off on A. Yeah, we just sort of started a roll going further into the half, and started winning clutch rounds, and those are like the things that you need to win Counter-Strike matches. We won those situations, and it just went back and forth. CT side, I felt comfortable all the way through. It felt like, you know, we had it under control as long as we just pulled through. They have some really good timed A strats. You just got to be really careful with that. As long as we felt like as long as we can keep them off with those, we should be fine. And in the end, they sort of screwed up a couple of they lost an eco to us and stuff. Made some bad decisions. I felt like they were a bit nervous or something. It felt like their decision making wasn't very smart actually at some situations, which ultimately cost them the match.
So what I noticed was that you actually used a double up setup on the CT side. You had one in the window on Stonda, I think, and Alo was on CT most of the time, or at least in some of the rounds. So is that something you've been practicing generally, or is it something that you brought for Titan specifically?
That was not a specific strategy for Titan. It's something that we have two very strong oppers. Stonda is a player you will enjoy to watch for sure in the coming months. He's got 1,000 hours less of Counter-Strike Go than pretty much everyone else who plays in the competitive scene. So I mean, you can only expect him to get better as time goes on. And you know, when you have players like Alo and Stonda in your team, those are assets that you want to use in your favor when you have that. So it wasn't something specific for that match. It's something that we like to use when we feel like, you know, there's a room to use it.
Now let's go over to the second match. Once again against Titan. That was on DE Cash. You had a great lead. I think it was 7-1, and basically the only round that Titan was able to get was when Kenny has made this huge ace on the A site in the lobby. So what happened afterwards? So what was the reason for you slacking off afterwards? Why did you lose the most of the following rounds after that on your T side?
Yeah, that was a 10-minute break pause in when we were up I don't know, 9-2 or something, and it felt like they decided to play really passively on CT, and we sort of started faltering against that. I think we should have played even more through middle than we did, instead of trying to make a set play strat on A. And I think that was sort of our problem, that we have to know in the future when our opponents start playing as they did. Now we know better how we should play against that kind of thing, you know, because that's what CS is. At the end of the day, you always we've only played together for 3 weeks, so every game we play is pretty much like a learning experience. You learn new things. Okay, when a team does this, you gotta do another thing to counter that. So that sort of happened. We should have. I think we should have closed it out on T already. And yeah, well, CT side, they got the pistol, and then sort of they got a bankroll. They got it rolling, and then we came back. We fought it back, and then we sort of screwed up that 1-on-3 where I killed the guy in connector and then died to the Molotov because of a miscalculation of how the Molotov was spreaded. And then yeah, that was pretty much it.
So did you feel like it was the fact that you didn't play together for a long time, the fact that you couldn't just close cash out, even though you had this 9-6, was it, as terrorists, which is obviously a big result because it's such a CT-sided map. Do you think that's the reason for why you lost the cash, because you didn't have enough practice?
Well, I mean, Titan is also with RPK. They haven't played that long either. So I mean, both teams are pretty fresh. 3 weeks playing together is a very short time, and you know, Counter-Strike is a team game. It's about making solid decisions together and good communication and small details. And yeah, I feel like we can only get better as time goes on. Like I said, we've only played 3 weeks. We had a 1 weekend boot camp, and that's about it. That's all the practice we've had together. And I think we just gotta, we're gonna analyze this. We're gonna have a talk tomorrow, and then just move forward. Start, preparing for the upcoming things.
So how satisfied are you with the result? You were able to beat one of the top teams in the world. You took them to 12 rounds on the second map. How satisfied are you?
I'm never satisfied when we don't advance, obviously, but when we talked about this tournament, our main goal was to prove to ourselves and prove everyone that we can compete with everyone in the world, because not a lot of people seem to really believe that the Finnish scene has anything to really bring. So that was really our ultimate goal, was to really show to ourselves that we can really compete with these guys, and I think we established that. And now we're just gonna move forward and take the next step.
So what is the next step for you guys? What's in the future for you?
Well, we just managed to qualify for the Pro League finals, the ESL. So that's one thing, and then obviously the Katowice qualifiers. We want to get there definitely, and we want to get to the major.
So talking a little bit about Katowice. That's a new thing, an offline qualifier instead of online all the way in the previous majors, in all the previous majors except for the first one. So how do you rate that decision from Valve to actually make an offline tournament after all those cheating accusations and stuff about that?
It's awesome. It's great. I think it should have already been if you think about already. Many years ago, we used to have offline qualifiers for most of the big tournaments, 10 years ago. So I don't know why it's changed all of a sudden that we had to do online qualifiers, because it's not even cheating, just the whole the environment. There's always you're always going to run into certain different troubles, connection issues and whatever. And so I think that's great. The only grudge I really have about this system right now is that the online qualification part is a bit brutal, where you have 2 qualifiers that are open for everyone in Europe to go to, and they're best of ones until the semifinals. And the best of one is the best of one. Anything can happen in one map, and I don't really like that. So I mean, there's always going to be room for improvement and things that you feel there's a lot of pressure going into it. You're just playing matches that are so important, because the majors are the big thing for every team, and playing best of ones where a couple hiccups and you're ultimately out and you're missing out on one of the big events of the year. So I mean, maybe there could be something we could do about that.
What do you think about Valve going against the decision to raise the prize pool for major events? It's once again it's 250K. Well, the sticker money itself is rumored to go all the way up to $400,000 for each team of the challengers, of the legends, rather. So, what do you think about that decision? Do you think it should be moved up?
Would make sense. I mean, considering I'm pretty sure the revenue that they're making on a contract is gradually rising because the player numbers are going up, and it would make sense for them to raise also the prize pools, I guess. But I mean, we don't know how it goes and how the money is spread, but it would make sense, right?
All right, that was the last question. Is there anything you would like to add? Any shout outs to fans, sponsors? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just thanks for everyone that's been supporting us, following us. Just thanks to our sponsors, especially the Kingwin and Winamax and the whole 3D Max people that are supporting us. They're awesome. And yeah, thanks for the interview.
Thank you.